What if Will Byers never truly escaped the Upside Down? Imagine a darker twist where Will actually kicked the bucket the night he was snatched, and the only reason he's still around is because the Mind Flayer won't let him go. Instead of just being a victim, Will becomes a vessel. His life is tied to the creature that lives in the dark. This chilling possibility raises a haunting question: is Will living his own life, or is he being kept alive as a puppet of the Upside Down? From the very beginning of Stranger Things, Will Byers' survival has felt like both a miracle and a mystery. He disappeared into the Upside Down, a place filled with freaky monsters, bad air, and pure darkness that should have killed him right away. But somehow, he came back, scarred, changed, but alive. What if he didn't actually make it though? What if he really died that night, and the only reason he's still around is because the Mind Flayer wants him for something evil? That thought makes Will's story go from a rescue mission to something way darker, a story about being controlled, possessed, and barely hanging on, all because of a monster hiding just below the surface. By all logic, Will should have been long dead, yet his body was preserved. Those gross tendrils in his throat weren't just holding him, they might have been keeping him alive, like some freaky artificial life support. Then, his weird link to the Mind Flayer, the visions, the possession, the feeling of being watched, it all points to him not really being in control. It's like the creature tied Will's soul to itself, using him as a host and a tool. So, when Will came back to Hawkins, it wasn't a win against the Upside Down, but a sneaky plan by the Mind Flayer to get a living connection into our world. When Season 2 starts, Will isn't simply dealing with trauma, he's still connected to the Upside Down. Those shadow monster visions aren't just bad dreams, they're like messages, almost as if the Mind Flayer is showing him what it sees. The doctors at Hawkins' lab call it PTSD, but the truth is way more disturbing. Will's basically a human spy cam for the Upside Down, and when the possession takes hold, it's less about infection and more about ownership. If Will really did die in Season 1, then what we saw in Season 2 is the Mind Flayer using the body it saved. The scary part is, Will might not be fighting to live, he's fighting to get back a life he never really got back. Season 3 gets way more mysterious, but you gotta pay close attention. While most of the group is distracted by the chaos of the Starcourt Mall, Will struggles with his place among his friends, feeling different, isolated, and left behind. Will feels like he just doesn't fit in anymore with his friends. This isn't your normal teenage angst, it's something way bigger. His spider sense going off whenever the Mind Flayer is close means there's an unbreakable tether between them, one that goes beyond simple memory or trauma. It's like Will's a living antenna, picking up the Mind Flayer's vibes because the monster never really left him. By the time Season 4 rolls around, Will's story feels kind of flat compared to the escalating stakes around Hawkins. Vecna shows up, there's chaos in California, and the dimensions are falling apart. You'd think Will would be right in the thick of it, but his story's still pretty low-key, like they're holding something back. He struggles with hidden feelings, unspoken truths, and a deep sense of invisibility even among those who love him most. But if we return to the theory that Will's very existence hinges on the Mind Flayer's will, his silence becomes chilling. It's not just that he can't say how he feels, it's like a part of him isn't even his to control. Maybe his vision stopped, but that doesn't mean the connection's gone, it could just be waiting. Will's like a time bomb, a host the Mind Flayer can take back whenever, and his life is just borrowed time from the same monster his friends are trying to kill. So, maybe Will's quiet role isn't bad writing, maybe it's setting up something really scary for the end. If this theory is right, then Season 5 could deliver the darkest twist of the entire series. Will isn't just linked to the Upside Down, he's like its way into Hawkins, its connection to our world, and proof that death there isn't always the end. The Mind Flayer has kept him alive for a reason, and we might finally figure out why. It could be the ultimate weapon against Eleven and the others. The fact that Will is still alive might be the Upside Down's biggest trick, a way to get close to the group while keeping its chosen one near the people who matter most. If Will's survival has been planned all along, Season 5 might make them face the hardest choice. To beat the Upside Down, they might have to accept that Will can't be saved, because he died a while ago, and everything since has been the Mind Flayer holding on to its prize. The most disturbing part of this theory isn't just what we've seen, it's what we haven't seen. Every season, there are little clues that something more sinister is hiding beneath Will's survival. Unlike the others, he's never really okay. There's always this shadow, this emptiness in his eyes, and he feels different from everyone else. It's like he doesn't just remember the Upside Down, he feels it, even years later, like it's part of him. His drawings, when he's quiet, how he touches his neck when something's wrong, those aren't just details, they're reminders that he's still connected to the Mind Flayer. And maybe the biggest clue is that Will hasn't grown up like his friends. Mike, 11, Dustin, Lucas, and even Max evolve into new versions of themselves as the seasons unfold, but Will remain strangely static, almost frozen, as if something is holding him back. If the Mind Flayer is keeping him alive, then Will being stuck is no accident. It's because he's not really living his own life, it's a half-life because something won't let go of him. So, in this story, Will isn't just being ignored. It's more like he's being saved, like a chess piece they're saving for the end, when they need him. In the end, the true terror of this theory lies not in the monsters that lurk in the shadows of the Upside Down, but in the quiet, almost invisible horror of Will Byers himself. If he actually died that first night, then every happy moment since, every laugh, everything with his friends, was just a show, a trick by the Mind Flayer to keep him alive. Was it ever Will speaking, or was it simply the echo of a boy the Upside Down refused to release? His friendships, his family, they might feel real, but what if they're just keeping him close until the monster does something? Stranger Things is all about love and friendship, but what if Will's story flips that, showing how fragile we are when something steals your life and wears it like a mask? As the show ends, we gotta ask, has Will ever really been alive since the Upside Down got him, or are we just watching a ghost of the kid who never came home? What if Will's survival was never a rescue to begin with, but actually a trap? And if that's true, what do you think will happen when the Mind Flayer decides it no longer needs Will Byers? Let us know in the comments section, we want to see your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and subscribe to our channel for more chilling Stranger Things content with us on Strangers Freaks.